When I collapsed at work and was rushed to the ER, I thought my wife would be the first person by my side. Instead, she showed up hours later, makeup smudged, reeking of someone else's cologne. When I asked where she had been, she smirked and said, "Living the life you forgot to give me." I left her name off every emergency contact from that day forward. I'm 38 now. I've been working since I was 17. First job was loading pallets at a warehouse in Springfield, Missouri. Moved on to factory work by 19. Met my wife, Tanya, when I was 23. She was 21, wild but smart. She could walk into a room and everyone would look at her, like she pulled the air with her. I was a quiet guy. Still am. Back then I thought I was lucky to have her. I really did. We got married fast. Too fast, maybe. I had just started working at a steel parts manufacturing plant outside of Springfield. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid good. I was pulling 50-plus-hour weeks, and we got a decent duplex in a quiet area. Tanya didn't work at first. She said she wanted to figure out what she really loved. I didn't push her. I thought she'd get there. Over time, she started acting different. Didn't notice it all at once, but looking back, it was clear as day. She started dressing up to go out with the girls, on weeknights. Wednesdays and Mondays mostly. She joined a gym, then a second one. Bought expensive makeup and perfume when I was trying to save for a new washer. I didn't argue. I figured she needed it to feel better. Maybe I wasn't doing enough. There were signs. So many signs. But I ignored them. Until the day my body finally gave out. It was a Tuesday. I had skipped lunch, trying to finish a job before the deadline. I felt dizzy around 3 p.m., but I kept working. Around 7 p.m., I dropped to the floor like a sack of bricks. My coworker Jerry said I was out cold. They called 911 and rushed me to the ER. I woke up around midnight, hooked to machines, my chest tight, arms tingling. I could barely speak. First thing I asked the nurse was if my wife was there. She looked uncomfortable. "We called her hours ago," she said. She said she was on her way. Tanya didn't show up until after 1:30 a.m. She walked in like she was coming back from a party. Tight dress. Hair a mess. Lipstick smeared. And the smell, strong cologne, not hers. Not mine. Some guys. She looked at me and gave a half-smile. 2 days later I was discharged. Tanya picked me up. She had coffee in her hand, didn't even ask if I wanted one. She barely talked during the drive. I watched her through the mirror. Her phone kept lighting up. I didn't ask who it was. I knew. Back home, I didn't say anything. I sat in my chair while she took a long shower. I just listened. She laughed on the phone while I sat there with this deep, hollow pit in my stomach. I didn't blow up. I didn't accuse her. I started planning. First thing I did? Took her name off all my emergency contacts. I added my sister, who lives 2 towns over. Then I started gathering things. I went back through her computer, her iPad, her emails. I learned fast that Tanya wasn't even trying to hide it. His name was Marcus. Owned a fitness store in Branson. Drove a black Audi. Tanya called him M in her phone, but her Gmail didn't lie. She told him everything. How I was boring. How I worked like a mule and gave nothing back. How she wished she met him first. They had a thing. Weekly hotel meetups. He gave her perfume and jewelry. Called her his escape. She told him she'd leave me when the time was right. I made copies of everything. Emails, receipts, photos. I set up a cloud drive and locked it with a password only I knew. I even printed everything out, old school style. I wanted a paper trail. Then I started draining our joint account. Slowly. I moved just enough every week to a new account she didn't know about. She never noticed. She never looked. She thought I was still in the dark. I didn't tell my family. Didn't tell friends. Just stayed quiet and kept documenting. One night I told her I was working a late shift. I wasn't. I parked down the street from our house. At 9:45 p.m., a car pulled into our driveway. Black Audi. I saw them go inside. Lights went off. I sat there for an hour, just staring at the door. Then I took a photo of the license plate and left. I went to a lawyer the next morning. Missouri is a no-fault divorce state, but adultery can still affect property decisions. My lawyer said with enough evidence, we could make it hurt. I showed him everything. He said, "You've been patient. Now let's make her regret it." But I wanted more than just divorce. She said, "Let's blow this whole thing open." And we did. Danielle and I didn't become friends or anything. But we had a shared mission now. We gave each other space to plan. She took screenshots of Marcus's messages to Tanya, including ones he sent while lying in bed next to her. Some were dirty. Some were just pathetic. All of them were useful. She called a lawyer the same week I did. Turned out she and Marcus had been together for 9 years, married for 5, with 2 kids under 6. She told me, "I'm not staying. I'm going to ruin him." I said, "Same." Meanwhile, Tanya had no clue what was coming. She kept acting like everything was normal. Still stayed out late. Still gave short, cold answers when we did talk. Still wore new outfits that I hadn't seen receipts for. But now, I didn't get angry. I just kept quiet and watched. One night, I asked her, "You ever think about what you'd do if we divorced?" She didn't even look up from her phone. "Depends. Am I rich in this version?" She laughed like it was a joke. I didn't. The next week, my lawyer sent the papers to her work. I chose that on purpose. She worked at a boutique part-time, liked the attention and free clothes. I wanted her to get served while she was around people. Let the whole room see the look on her face. She stormed into the house that night, papers crumpled in her hand. "You serious right now?" "Dead serious. You can't do this to me." I stared at her. "You already did this to me." She tried flipping it, of course. Claimed I was neglectful. That I never made time for her. That I treated her like a roommate. All the usual lines cheaters use when they get caught. I didn't yell. I just handed her a folder full of the proof. Her face changed real fast. She went pale. Then red. Then blank. "You spied on me," she said. "No. I saw the truth and kept it." She left that night. Packed a duffel bag and slammed the door. I didn't stop her. What she didn't know was that Marcus's wife had kicked him out that same day. And what Tanya really didn't know was that Marcus had no intention of leaving his wife for her. He told Danielle everything once the divorce papers hit. Said Tanya was just a fun escape. Said she was needy and clingy and crazy jealous. He begged his wife to forgive him. She didn't. 2 weeks later, Tanya tried to crawl back. I came home one night to find her sitting on our porch, makeup streaked, hair a mess, crying into her phone. "I have nowhere to go," she said. I didn't respond. She said, "I made a mistake. I thought he loved me. He said he was leaving her." I stood there for a long time. Then I said, "You left me the second you thought you could do better. Go find him." She tried to block the door when I walked past. I didn't touch her. I called the police and filed a no trespass order that same night. Tanya moved into a rundown apartment on the other side of town. The same week, my lawyer filed a motion to freeze our remaining joint accounts and protect the house under my name. Her lawyer tried to push back, said I was cutting her off financially. My lawyer showed the judge the timeline, the hotel records, the text messages. Tanya looked like she wanted to disappear in her seat. The judge sided with me. She got nothing from the house. Nothing from my retirement. Just the car in her name and whatever was left in her personal savings. But it wasn't over yet. Because 3 months later, I got a phone call I didn't expect. It was Danielle. "You're gonna want to hear this," she said. Marcus had moved into a new condo, living the bachelor life. He'd posted photos online of him and another woman. Young. Blonde. Looked barely out of college. Guess who found out? Tanya. She showed up to his condo. Caused a scene. Screamed at him in the parking lot. Security had to escort her off the property. The whole thing ended up on someone's phone and made the rounds on local Facebook groups. That was the first time I laughed in months. Then came the twist I never saw coming. Tanya filed a motion to reverse the divorce ruling, saying I coerced her signature and hid assets. My lawyer laughed when he read it. She's grasping. But it still meant we had to go back to court. She took the stand, claimed I was emotionally abusive, distant, cold. Claimed I manipulated her into signing without a fair split. Said I was hiding money offshore. I don't even have a passport. When it was my turn, I stayed calm. Showed the judge the full timeline, the photos, the bank statements, the recordings from our house cameras. Even showed a message where Tanya told Marcus she couldn't wait to bleed me dry and start over. The judge didn't say much. Just stared at her for a long time. Motion denied. But the damage was done. Word got around. Springfield isn't that big of a town. Tanya lost her job at the boutique. Apparently, the owner's sister had seen the Facebook video and didn't like the drama. Marcus? His business started tanking. Danielle had quietly sent all the dirty details to his biggest supplier. Family-owned company. Very traditional. They dropped him. Tanya sent me one more message. "I hope you're happy. You ruined my life." I didn't respond. She did that all on her own. A month after her failed motion in court, Tanya went quiet. I thought maybe she finally accepted it was over. Maybe she moved on. That hope didn't last. One afternoon, I got a call from HR at my job. "Hey," the manager said, "we got an anonymous tip that you've been stealing equipment from the plant and reselling it." I nearly dropped the phone. What? They told me someone had sent in an email with my name, a fake Gmail address, and attached photos of machinery inventory logs, doctored ones. Whoever sent it tried to make it look like I was skimming materials and selling them online. They even attached screenshots of Craigslist ads with random tool listings, as if that proved something. Luckily, the manager knew me. I'd worked there for over 10 years, never had a single write-up. They launched a review but told me off the record, "It smells like someone's trying to burn you." I knew exactly who. I went straight to my lawyer. He checked to see if we could trace the IP from the fake Gmail account. Took a couple days, but he got something. It led back to a public library in town. Security footage showed Tanya walking in, logging on, and walking out 10 minutes later. That same week, someone slashed the tires on my truck. All 4. Left a note under the windshield that said, "Hope your little revenge trip was worth it." I filed a police report. I had no cameras pointed at the truck, but I had a feeling. She was unraveling. Then came the part one didn't expect, the part that really pushed everything over the edge. Danielle called me again. "Hey, you sitting down?" she asked. I told her yeah. She said, "Tanya reached out to me." I didn't understand at first. "What do you mean?" "She emailed my business account. Said she wanted to meet. Said she thinks you and I were working together to destroy her life on purpose." I said, "Well, we kind of were." Danielle sighed. "Yeah, but she's not just pissed. She's unhinged." Tanya showed up to Danielle's store the next day. Walked in like a customer. Started asking weird questions in front of actual clients. "So how long were you and my husband plotting behind my back? Did you know he's a liar too?" She went on and on. Danielle had to call the cops. Tanya got escorted out, again. She didn't get arrested, but Danielle filed a restraining order. The third one Tanya had against her now, if you count Marcus's new girlfriend. I couldn't believe it. This was the same woman who used to cry when I brought her flowers home. The woman who once said I was the safest place she'd ever known. Now she was out there, falling apart in public. I thought about confronting her. Thought about yelling, screaming, demanding she stop. But my lawyer told me, let her self-destruct. The more she lashes out, the better for you. Just keep records. So I did. I bought a camera for the front yard. Another for the driveway. Put one inside the garage. Anytime I left the house, I had proof of where I was. I told my boss everything. HR documented every fake claim. I didn't hide. I made sure everything she tried only made her look worse. Then I got a letter in the mail. From a lawyer I didn't recognize. Tanya was suing me for emotional distress. Not just divorce court anymore. Civil court. She claimed I caused her mental breakdown, loss of employment, community shame, and trauma that required therapy. Her lawyer demanded $75,000. I laughed. Not because it was funny, because it was pathetic. My lawyer said, "This is going to backfire hard." We went to court. She cried on the stand. Told the judge I was manipulative, controlling, cruel. That I secretly teamed up with her affair partner's wife to ruin her future. She said I staged the hospital collapse to make her look heartless. That I'd been planning this revenge for years. It was a mess. Then we showed our side. Every email. Every message. Every photo. Every police report. Every trespassing call. Every restraining order. The security footage of her slashing my tires. The IP address from the fake email. A video from the boutique security camera where she was served divorce papers, showing her laughing after reading them. When my lawyer finished, the courtroom was dead quiet. The judge dismissed her claim on the spot. And added a warning, if she filed anything again, it might be considered harassment. She walked out without looking at me. I thought that was it. That she'd finally go away. But Tanya had one more card left to play. 3 weeks later, I came home to find my garage door wide open. Inside, the wall had been spray painted in red, "This isn't over." There was no break-in. Nothing stolen. Just the message. She wanted me to know she still had hate left. But I wasn't scared anymore. I was done being the quiet guy. After I found that spray-painted message in my garage, "This isn't over," something in me changed. I wasn't scared. I wasn't even angry. I was tired. But not the kind of tired where you give up. The kind where you know you've got one final push in you. And this time, it was going to end on my terms. I called the cops. Again. They came, took photos, logged the incident, but said unless I had footage of her doing it, their hands were tied. What they didn't know is, I did have footage. She didn't see the new camera I had installed behind the gutter on the side of the garage. Clear view of the alley. Caught her pulling up at 3:12 a.m., hoodie over her head, spray can in hand. This time, I pressed charges. The officer at the station raised his eyebrows when he saw the video. "You sure you want to go forward?" "Yes," I said. "All the way." Tanya was arrested that week. Charged with vandalism, trespassing, and violating the no-contact order. She spent one night in county jail. That might not sound like much, but for Tanya, it was the first time her lies didn't protect her. I thought that would be the end. But karma had more to deliver. 2 weeks after her arrest, I got a message from a number I didn't recognize. It was Marcus. "Can we talk?" he wrote. I didn't answer at first. Then curiosity got the better of me. We met at a gas station diner halfway between Springfield and Branson. He looked rough. Dark circles, lost weight, jittery hands. "I'm not here to cause problems," he said. I need to warn you." "About what?" He took a deep breath. "Tanya's been telling people you abused her. Not just in court. She's posting online. Reddit, Facebook, anywhere she can. Says you're dangerous. Says you ruined her life, stole her money, got her blacklisted." I already figured something like that was happening. My old high school buddy had texted me about a weird Facebook post a few days earlier. But hearing it out loud still hit different. "I tried to cut ties," Marcus said. "But she keeps calling. Keeps threatening to tell my new girlfriend that I was still seeing Tanya even after the divorce. I wasn't. Not after Danielle left me. But Tanya, she twists everything." I looked him in the eye. "Why are you telling me this now?" He stared at his coffee. "Because I'm scared of her too." I should have felt bad for him. But I didn't. He helped create this mess. Let Tanya walk all over me, over his wife. Then left the second things got too hard. I said, "You want her out of your life? Then help me finish this." And that's when the final piece fell into place. Marcus had a voicemail Tanya left him during their affair. It was from months ago. She was drunk, rambling, laughing. Said stuff like, "I could ruin him, you know. Just say he hit me. Who would question it?" She never meant for it to be serious. But now, it was proof. Proof that everything she'd accused me of later was a lie. Marcus gave me the voicemail. I gave it to my lawyer. And my lawyer? He gave it to the district attorney. They reopened Tanya's civil complaint case. Found she had submitted falsified statements under oath. Combined with the new vandalism charge and the restraining order violations, they charged her with perjury, false reporting, and defamation. This time, there was no bail. She spent 2 weeks in jail waiting for the court date. Her public defender begged her to take a deal. She refused, said she wanted to tell her truth. It didn't go well. The judge listened to the voicemail, read through her fake reports, and called her behavior deliberate, harmful, and dangerously manipulative. She was sentenced to 8 months in county jail, plus mandatory therapy, a permanent no-contact order, and a civil judgment for damages. That meant she owed me money. Money she didn't have. I garnished her wages from the retail job she picked up after getting fired from the boutique. I got a court-approved lien on anything she ever tried to own again. Meanwhile, I got promoted at work. My manager said he admired how I kept my head during everything. I started training new hires, got better hours, and finally took that week-long vacation to Colorado I'd put off for years. Danielle? She moved to Georgia with her kids, started over completely. We kept in touch for a bit. Every now and then, she sends me updates. Her boys are doing better. She's dating someone new. Stable guy. Works in HVAC. Marcus tried reaching out a few more times, probably out of guilt. I ignored him. Tanya tried to message me after she got out. Just one word, why? I didn't answer. Instead, I printed it out, framed it, and hung it in the garage, right over where she spray-painted the wall. I see it every morning on my way to work. That's the thing about revenge. It doesn't always come with fireworks or screaming matches. Sometimes it's just quiet satisfaction, watching the ones who tried to destroy you fall apart on their own, while you rebuild from the ashes they left behind. I'm not proud of what I went through. But I am proud of how I came out of it. Stronger. Smarter. Unbreakable. And next time I list my emergency contact, it won't be someone who only shows up after the damage is done. It'll be someone who never leaves my side to begin with.